Buenos días a todos. Good morning, everyone. It's been a pleasure to start this, and it is a pleasure to start this. My name is Christopher. I am channel developer in SalesLayer for those who don't know me personally, and for those that know me. Hi, how you doing? So today we're gonna show how the connector of Magento works. We know we have different connectors. We're not going to go into the basics of SalesLayer. If you're here for that, then I'm sorry. Today, we're not going to show you how to upload info or how to process data and so on, or how to enrich. But now we're going to the connect area, and specifically on the Magento connector. Right. We see that people are coming in now. Hi. Hi, everyone. We will wait for 5 minutes or so before we start, so you are all ready. And if you want, please raise your hands just to make sure you're listening to me or you can hear me. If you know how to raise your hand. Oh, hang on. Can anyone hear me? Oh, there we go. Some hands came up. Great. At a moment here, I was thinking, oh, I'm talking by myself. Okay, great. Let's just give a few seconds and we'll start. Great. So it seems everybody's in here. And thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, everyone, for connecting. This is overwhelming to speak to everyone all over the world. Well, again, I'm Christopher from SalesLayer. I'm a channel developer for those who don't know me personally. And so, as I was saying before, today we are not going on the basics. We are not going to go or explain how to upload your info. As you see, I already have the data uploaded, even though I'm going to hand it over to our expert, Kyle. I'll introduce him in a second. Today, we're going to talk about the Magento connector, how to configure it, how it works, and we'll try to see if we have a Q&A, time for a Q&A. So without further ado, I'm gonna hand it over to Kyle and allow him to present himself and so on. So see you in a minute.
Right, good morning, everybody. Thanks, Chris, for the intro. As most of you may know, I do the international sales section here at SalesLayer. As for some of you that don't, obviously, hi, international sales section. What we're going to be talking about today is how to establish a connection, a secure connection between SalesLayer and Magento, and a few bits and bobs about how to configure that connection inside Magento itself. Okay, so this is not going to be kind of masterclass on how to use Magento, but rather how easy it is to establish a connection with Magento, then synchronize your products and all that sort of stuff. Okay. First of all, diving in, we've got the demo that I'm going to be using today. The demo example is an electronics demo. The reason I'm using electronics is it's a little bit more complex. I've got a couple more fields than our usual fashion one. Excuse me. So we've got our account already set up. You can see that I've got the vast majority in draft, a couple of them on as visible. For those of you who don't know, when making a connection, you need to establish always that your categories are visible, then your products are visible, and if you have variants that are associated to those need to be visible as well. Most common mistake, people say, my stuff is not synchronizing. Generally, it's because either their products are in the wrong categories or those categories are not as active. Okay. What we're going to do now, we're going to jump into the channel section. All right. We're going to select our Magento connection right here. As I've already got the connection set up from Sales Layer to Magento, I don't have to install my plugin. For those of you who don't know, Magento 1, you use this plugin. Magento 2, you use this plugin. Regardless of what the download Magento plugin version says, this is not the version of Magento that we're talking about. This is actually just the version of the plugin. Okay, so again, Magento 1 this one, Magento 2 this one. Today we're doing Magento 2. All right, we're going to name our Magento connection, let's call it webinar, just because we can. All right, first things first, ID code and assign privacy key. Okay, we're going to assign a brand new privacy key because obviously not my first connection I've set up. This is basically just to establish a secure connection. Okay, no complications about it whatsoever. Down the bottom, we've got which languages you want to connect with, exporting with visible items with a particular status, and including empty categories. Starting with languages to connect. Most important thing to remember with connectors from Sales Layer. Every single connector, you can connect multiple stores, but only in a single language. Okay, so if you have English, Spanish, French, and Italian, you can have 4 connectors, but you can have multiple stores per connector. Okay. Export items with a particular status. We recommend that you only use visible. Reason being, the statuses are there to be able to control the flow of your data. So we have draft, visible, invisible, as most of you may know. Always select only visible. Okay, that way, when you mark a product as invisible, it'll automatically disable it on Magento, not delete it, disable it. Okay, and visible puts it back live. Including empty categories is one that we added a couple months ago. Reason being, some of our clients wanted categories included even though they didn't have products at that particular time, but they wanted their clients to know that it was there. Okay, so first page, kind of like just, overall, kind of telling the connector what you want it to do. Output data section is where things get interesting. Okay, now in this section you can do various different things. Main categories, a lot of our clients have their brand per main categories. You can create one plugin per brand to a specific website. In this case, we're just going to select absolutely everything because this is only one store that we are looking to sync up. And in this section is where you do a field match. Okay, so you'll see that there's a recurring theme throughout the entire system. We're all about simplicity. We're all about making things as easy as possible. Matching fields together, really simple. What the name needs to be in Magento, you can see as category name in the inside Sales Layer, category description as description. Most of these will already be laid out for you, okay? Especially in the category section where everything's still quite simple. Product section, we're going to do exactly the same thing, matching up fields inside Magento as their reference and related fields inside Sales Layer, okay? We're not going to change anything currently because, again, it's not about going into immense detail with how specifically you can do it for one type of website. This is just in general, okay? Variant section, same thing, matching up fields. Once we have all of this active, okay, we're going to save and complete our connector. The connection from Sales Layer to Magento, to a Magento, is now established. What we're going to do now is go back into our connector. We're going to copy our ID code because we're going to use ID code and privacy key to establish a connection now to receive from Magento. This is a test instance that we've set up specifically for this webinar. First things first, you're going to go into, well, ours is a Sales Layer, yours will be slightly different. Select on whatever yours is called and go to import. Yeah. I don't remember the login. If I'm not mistaken. Yes. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Imports. We're going to go to add a new connector. Credentials, connector ID. Go back in here, use our channel privacy key, and paste. At this point, you can go into more detail with the general parameters, creating an auto sync by default an hour, but you can change it, select it the way you want to. Category parameters, choosing which one you want to use. Is it an anchor, yes or no? Different types of layouts. And our one, again, we're just going to leave it bog standard, and we're going to save our connector. Okay. Now, the connection has been established between sales layer and Magento. Magento is ready to receive information. Okay. Nothing has been synced up currently. What we're going to do is make sure that our products are being synced up. This means that our simple products, as most people call it in Magento, are going to be synchronized automatically. Okay, so whatever we set out in our connector is now going to be pushed through to Magento. We select our connector and click on synchronize. What this is then going to do, sales layer synchronization, data stored successfully, total items stored, none apparently, and to synchronize one category and 24 products. Okay, depending on how your cron is set out, this will mean that your system will update every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, every half an hour, however you've set that out to. Again, this is not about the Magento masterclass, this is just about giving information. Okay. What we can do is go into catalog, go into the product section, wait for our stuff to load, because that's going to pull through. There's only 24 products in one category, so it won't take very long. But if nothing has come through yet, there we go. We actually do have stuff that's come through. All right. We have had products now that have come through, various different types, various different sizes, etc., etc. You can see that the sync doesn't take very long. Okay. If you want to add configurable products, okay, that's a little bit different. We go down to stores at the bottom here. We can check our attribute sets. Okay. These are ones that we've obviously created through testing. We can now add a new attribute set, whatever the name is based on. So let's call it, what are we using? Electronics. Okay, so let's just call item type. No, call it product type. Why not? Marketing's far out today. Product type. Okay, based on whichever one we have to select. Now, we can do this way, we can do it other ways. It's again just about setting up things the way that you guys want to do it. Okay. We're going to tell you product type based on, let's go default, save connector. Okay. Here is where then you establish what you want to, which group you want to pull it in. Okay. So we've created, where are you? Product type, right? We haven't created it clearly. Or no, it's already been added. Okay. So if you had added something recently in stores, go into products, add a new attribute set. Okay, default label. Again, we're going to go products type. Is it a text field, date, yes, no, multiple select, drop down, etc., etc. That's going to be a text field. And do we require values, yes or no? I generally just leave it as no, just in case. Okay. Again, go back into our stores, go into our attribute sets. We're going to go into default, go down to the bottom. Where are you? Product type, and pull it across. Okay. Now, product underscore type. If we go back to editing our channel in our output data set, we can add this. Sorry, in products. Okay. Adding a new field. We can pull this pretty much from wherever. This is just an example. Call it specifications and change this to product underscore type. Okay. Now, when we click on save and complete, because we are actually editing our connector, if you have 50 products selected, this will mean that this will push all 50 products and all the associated data with it, all of its access to the website again. Anytime that you edit the actual connector itself, it's going to force refresh and push absolutely everything through. If you change something inside a product or inside a variant or inside a category, add a particular image to a specific product, that will be editing. So only the changes will then be sent through to Magento, not absolutely everything. Okay, so that's another important thing to keep in mind. Sometimes people say, oh, I added a new field, and when I saved it, then, it's now taking 4 hours to synchronize. Well, you've got, call it 20,000 products that are trying to push through absolutely everything again. It's pretty normal. Okay. If we go back into sales layer here, into import, and go back into our, excuse me, into our connector, this part here, when I was talking about earlier with the various different languages, you can only connect with one specific language for multiple stores. If you want to select a specific store, this is where you would do it. Okay, I know we're jumping around a little bit, but I'm trying to get everything compact into one go. All right, selecting your specific store. If you just want to go as default one store, all store views, doesn't matter. Okay, if you want to then pull that information through with the new data set, synchronize connector. This will then force refresh it and pull, synchronize one category and 24 products again. Okay. That in a nutshell is how you set up a connection from sales layer to Magento, right? Then receiving the information from Magento. There's not much to it. Again, it depends on the client that you have, the specifications that they've got, the type of configurable products or the type of configurable fields that they have. Everything is down to how they want to obviously lay it out. If you're attending this, I assume that you guys are, a lot more familiar with Magento than we are, because we're experts in our own, not in Magento. And if you have any questions, now would be the time to put them through. We kind of don't have very much time left to answer these questions right now, but we will get back to you privately on email. So please feel free to drop them through, and I'll hand it back over to Chris.
So that was very good. Thank you very much, Kyle, for your time and for this demo of our connector. We are actually planning on having other connectors, other demos like this. Kyle sometimes will help us, but sometimes I myself will do it and so on. But as Kyle said, this is the moment. If you have any questions, we will answer them maybe here or by email. I see that you are actually asking some questions, so thank you very much for your participation. As we always say, we will send this video so you can review it. And please, if you have any doubts or anything that must be clarified, as Kyle said, this is the moment. I'm seeing some questions, so we'll do that in a minute. We'll answer them in a minute. So this has been for today. We promised a very concise and specific demo. This was really fast, and as I said, thank you very much for attending. If you need anything, just let us know. So see you the next time, and I'm going to start to answer these questions. Okay, see you.